Echoes of the Serpent's Embrace. Part 2. The Shadow's Veil. As Lyra surged forward, her ancestral magic surged with renewed vigor, illuminating the clearing with a radiant golden light that pushed back against the encroaching darkness. The shadowy figures recoiled, their forms wavering and distorting under the onslaught of her potent energy. Yet, despite her valiant efforts, the malevolent force surrounding the monolith seemed to strengthen, its dark tendrils reaching out with an insidious intent. The air crackled with a palpable tension, the very essence of the forest quivering, as if in anticipation of the impending clash. Lyra's golden eyes narrowed, her mind sharpened with a singular focus as she sought to unravel the source of the shadow's power. With a calculated strike, she directed a surge of her ancestral magic towards the base of the monolith, seeking to weaken its hold on the surrounding darkness. The ground trembled beneath her as her magic collided with the ancient structure, causing fissures to splinter across its obsidian surface. Yet, to her dismay, the monolith seemed to absorb her energy, feeding on her ancestral power and growing in strength. The shadowy figures, emboldened by the monolith's newfound energy, lunged forward with renewed ferocity, their forms coalescing into an amorphous mass of darkness that threatened to overwhelm her. Lyra's heart pounded with a mixture of fear and determination as she coiled and dodged, her agile movements allowing her to evade the encroaching shadows. With a surge of defiance, she channeled the collective spirit of the forest, drawing strength from the ancient trees that stood sentinel around her. Their life force intermingled with her own, infusing her with a raw, untamed power that radiated from every scale of her being. Bolstered by this newfound vitality, Lyra unleashed a torrent of ancestral magic, weaving intricate patterns of light that intertwined with the encroaching darkness. Her golden aura enveloped the clearing, casting the shadowy figures into disarray as they recoiled from the sheer brilliance of her power. The ground quaked beneath her, responding to the clash of ancient forces that threatened to tear the very fabric of the forest asunder. In a moment of respite, as the shadows momentarily receded, Lyra's gaze locked onto the heart of the monolith, discerning a faint, pulsating light that seemed to flicker within its depths. With a surge of determination, she directed her energies towards the source, seeking to unravel the core of the darkness that had enshrouded the forest in its sinister embrace. As her magic surged towards the heart of the monolith, a chilling realization dawned upon her. The monolith was not merely a conduit for the encroaching darkness, it was a gateway, a portal through which an ancient, malevolent presence sought to manifest itself within the mortal realm. With a silent prayer to her ancestors, Lyra steeled herself for the final, decisive confrontation that would determine the fate of the forest and the world beyond. A surge of determination coursed through Lyra's veins as she focused her energy, channeling the collective strength of the forest and her ancient lineage. With a powerful hiss, she launched herself towards the pulsating heart of the monolith, her golden scales shimmering with an ethereal light that cut through the encroaching darkness. The malevolent presence within the monolith stirred, its dark energies coalescing into a maelstrom of shadow that sought to repel her advance. Yet Lyra remained resolute, her mind clear and her will unyielding as she confronted the primal forces that threatened to tear the very essence of the forest asunder. As she drew closer to the heart of the monolith, the air crackled with an electric energy, a maelstrom of conflicting forces that clashed and coalesced in a fierce struggle for dominance. The pulsating light within the monolith intensified, its luminous glow flickering with an otherworldly brilliance that seemed to beckon her closer, tempting her with promises of ancient secrets and unimaginable power. However, Lyra remained steadfast, her conviction unwavering as she grappled with the darkness that surged around her. With a surge of her ancestral magic, she wove intricate patterns of light that encircled the monolith, creating a barrier of luminous energy that repelled the encroaching shadows and threatened to seal the gateway before it could fully manifest its malevolent presence. The forest itself seemed to rally behind her, its ancient spirits lending their ethereal strength to her cause. Trees swayed in a spectral dance, their branches reaching out to bolster her defenses as she grappled with the dark entity within the monolith. The very ground beneath her trembled, resonating with the echoes of an ancient power that had long lain dormant, waiting for a champion to arise and defend the sanctity of the forest. With a final surge of willpower, Lyra directed a focused beam of golden light towards the heart of the monolith, her magic intertwining with the pulsating light within. The resulting explosion of energy reverberated throughout the clearing, its brilliance illuminating the forest with a radiant glow that dispelled the lingering shadows and banished the malevolent presence back into the depths from which it had emerged. As the last echoes of the struggle faded into the stillness of the forest, a profound sense of peace settled over the land. The ancient monolith lay shattered, its malevolent energies dispersed and dissipated, leaving behind only remnants of its dark influence that slowly dissipated into the ether. The forest itself seemed to sigh in relief, its ancient spirits whispering words of gratitude to the valiant Lamia, who had safeguarded their home against the encroaching darkness. Exhausted but triumphant, Lyra coiled herself in the center of the clearing, her golden eyes gazing out into the depths of the forest with a sense of weary satisfaction. Though the threat had been vanquished, she knew that her duty as the guardian of the forest was far from over. With a renewed sense of purpose, she vowed to remain vigilant, ready to confront any future challenges that dared to threaten the sanctity of her beloved home. The aftermath of the monumental struggle left the forest in a state of quiet reverence. The trees whispered soft melodies of gratitude, their leaves rustling in a gentle harmony that spoke of an ancient bond between the guardians of the land and the spirit of the forest itself. Lyra, still reeling from the remnants of the intense magical battle, remained coiled at the center of the clearing, her golden scales pulsating with a subdued light that mirrored the residual energy coursing through the now tranquil atmosphere. As the moon rose high in the midnight sky, casting its silvery glow over the rejuvenated foliage, a faint rustling in the underbrush caught Lyra's attention. Her senses heightened, she detected a subtle presence, an essence that seemed to resonate with the lingering magic of the forest. With a cautious but curious gaze, she observed as a delicate figure emerged from the shadows, its form shrouded in a silken veil of moonlight. The figure, an ethereal nymph with iridescent wings and a radiant aura, approached Lyra with a grace that seemed to defy the laws of mortal existence. Her voice, a melodic whisper that seemed to echo through the very fabric of the forest, spoke of gratitude and reverence for the Lamia's valiant defense against the encroaching darkness. Lyra, guardian of this sacred realm, your bravery and strength have brought balance back to our home, the nymph murmured, her voice carrying a weight of wisdom that transcended the passage of time. You have proven yourself to be the embodiment of our forest's resilience, a beacon of hope in the face of overwhelming adversity. Lyra inclined her head in a gesture of respect, her golden eyes gleaming with a mixture of humility and pride. I merely fulfilled my duty, protecting the sanctity of this forest that has been my home and sanctuary for countless cycles, she replied, her voice resonating with a quiet resolve. But I sense that the shadows that have encroached upon this land are but a harbinger of a greater, more insidious threat that lingers beyond the veil of our reality. The nymph nodded solemnly, her luminous form shimmering with a gentle radiance that seemed to echo the ancient rhythms of the forest itself. You speak true, for the darkness that sought to breach our world is but a fragment of a greater force that stirs within the depths of the void, she murmured. It seeks to unravel the very fabric of existence, to tip the delicate balance that sustains our reality into eternal chaos and despair. Lyra's heart quickened with a renewed sense of purpose, her serpentine form coiling with an air of determination that belied her exhaustion. Then I shall stand as a shield against this encroaching darkness, as a guardian of the light that binds this world together, she declared, her gaze locking with the nymph's ethereal visage. I shall not rest until this forest, this realm, and all that I hold dear are safeguarded against the looming threat that seeks to consume us all. The nymph smiled, a radiant expression that seemed to imbue the very air with a sense of hope and resilience. You carry the spirit of our forest within your very being, Lyra, and in your unwavering determination, we find solace and courage, she murmured, her voice fading into the nocturnal symphony of the ancient trees. May the wisdom of our ancestors guide your path, and may the light of our realm forever shine through the shadows that seek to snuff it out. With a final nod of acknowledgement, the nymph dissipated into a shower of iridescent stardust, her essence melding with the gentle night breeze that whispered of a timeless harmony between the guardians of the land and the spirit of the forest. Lyra remained coiled in the clearing, her heart emboldened by the words of the ancient nymph, ready to embark on a new chapter in her eternal quest to safeguard the sanctity of her beloved home.